Hello, welcome to the July 2026 edition of our BLM Fireside Chat. I'm so excited you decided to join us on the broadcast today. I mean, it's the 7th month of 2026. 7 months already. I mean, so 6 months gone, we're in the 7th. I am extremely optimistic that you would have made certain moves in the year to move your business from point A to point B. Now, if you've not, well, I want to encourage you to make sure that you make the last 6 months of the year 2026 count, right? You can listen to the broadcasts that we've had previously and the sessions we had last year and just get a lot of knowledge and, more importantly, apply them and see great stuff happen in your business. Well, today we have a very special guest. Oh dear. Very special guest. Someone who I love so much. We have my dear wife, my sweetheart.
See how I'm grinning from ear to ear.
Join us on the broadcast today. How are you?
Thank you. Super excited to be here.
I'm glad.
Super
I'm glad
excited.
You're here.
Great
I'm
work you're doing,
dear.
anyways. I must really commend that.
Thank you, dear. Thank you. Doing it with your support. Thanks. Thank you so much, dear. And the interesting thing about what we're doing today is she's going to be asking the questions.
Yes.
All right.
So the interviewer has become the interviewee.
Okay. That's a very interesting one. So she's asking the questions. I'll be providing the answers. Of course, from time to time, if she has thoughts that she wants to just chime in and throw into the conversation, of course, she'll feel free to do so. But before we start,
okay.
All right, sweetheart, how are you feeling today?
Excited. I'm really glad. Really glad to be here.
Fantastic.
Really glad to be here.
Fantastic.
Ready to learn, unlearn, relearn.
Fantastic.
And absorb as much information as I possibly can. So, really glad to be here. Okay. Thank you for having me.
You're glad. I am glad. You see, I'm I'm glad.
Okay.
Thank you, dear. So, sweetheart, shoot.
Okay. So, BLM Fireside Chat has been on for 5-6 months now. Right,
yes,
we've had different individuals come to speak to us from the law angle, finance, digital marketing, etc., etc. So, if I were to ask you, in the last 5 months, what are the important lessons that you have learned from the BLM Fireside Chat?
Oh, that's a very good question. January 1st, was the beginning of a new year.
Yeah.
So what we did was practically announce to everyone what we were planning to do in 2026. The 1st of February, we had the privilege of hosting someone who I respect so much, Mr. Michael Enidero, the MD of Penorica in Nigeria. We had the privilege of hosting him, and he said a lot of very remarkable things. One of the key things he said that I would really want to remind everyone who is listening to this broadcast about, and I would ask you to try and watch all of these episodes again. What Mr. Michael Enidero said was the need for business people to think big and not limit their vision, and then build processes, ensure that they have the right processes in place to take them from point A to point B. A critical point of that broadcast for me was when he began to explain the fact that a lot of people have plans, they have great plans, things they want to achieve, but they do not have the right, or rather they have great visions, right? Okay. Great things they want to achieve, but they do not have the right plans to achieve that vision. And he spoke about himself. It was a remarkable broadcast. Then on the 1st of March, we had the privilege of hosting Mr. Jesu Dayton Onosonya. Wonderful and dear friend of mine. He's a senior person. He's one of the directors at Aleph Group. Those are the guys who practically run TikTok, run Meta and all of that in Nigeria. And they've even gone in Africa and all of that. Yeah. And he does a lot of work across Africa. And he was explaining about how most businesses, specifically what he said 60% of businesses are on social media.
60%.
Yeah, 60% of business on social media, but a lot of people do not even know how
to maximize it.
Exactly. And it debunked a lot of myths that we had. This myth of, there's a time to post, that everybody sees what you're posting and all of that.
We hear there are peak periods, there are off-peak periods.
Oh, no, he debunked all of that and said things have moved beyond that. Now, the way the algorithm is set, if you have great content, the algorithm practically channels your content toward those who are supposed to see it, especially when you sponsor it. So he spoke about sponsoring, your ads, sponsoring your what you do. In a very strategic way, and not just, putting it out there and waiting for it to grow organically. Not bad, but he gave a lot of insights. Very powerful episode. I would really, request that people really go back and watch that episode. So, and after that, we had engineer Godfrey Akibi, remarkable man who runs IEPM, an engineering and mechanical and electrical engineering firm. He told his story about how he transitioned from being a professional working in a business to owning a business. How you make that transition from employee to a business, an employer of labor, right? And a business owner. And the things that one is supposed to sort of be mindful of as you make that transition. And as he was speaking, I was reminded of a book by Robert Kiyosaki, where the title of the book is Before You Quit Your Job. One of the things he said was, while he was an employee, he was gathering and getting the right skills, the right network, such that by the time he was transitioning, it became very easy. It was extremely easy for him to sort of make that transition and then grow his business as is right now. And so remarkable broadcast. After that, we then went into sort of like, for want of a better word, some technical sessions, right? Where we were opportune to speak with Barrister Okiki Adeniro, where he was talking to us about the role of law. The role of having a lawyer as a business person. A lot of business people take that for granted until they fall into a trouble. When they fall into trouble, then they start looking for somebody to, and then he explained that beyond, litigation and all of that, lawyers play a critical role in businesses. How from your registration to copywriting to just giving you sound advice on how to navigate. So was remarkable episode. And then the last, for the month of May, we were opportune to have Mr. Wale Odukoya join us, who started to talk to us about the role of finance, accounting, finance, and why business people should build their finance or accounting acumen. And then when they can, they should hire an accountant, either in-house or externally. Make sure you have an accountant. A friend of mine was telling me, who lives in the UK and runs a business in the UK, he said, in the UK, you must have an accountant as a friend. Otherwise, you get into a lot of tax issues.
Is set up.
Exactly.
It's very important.
And then, of course, you must have a lawyer as a friend. So you're starting a business, think about having a lawyer, think about having an accountant or a finance person in your corner, as much as having sound advice. So those were the episodes we've done this year. Beautiful.
So I would just like to take you back to Mr. Michael Ehindero's session.
Yes.
Right, you had mentioned he spoke to us about having the right processes to help your business, grow your business.
Yes.
Now, I would like to ask, the processes that you put in place basically to help your businesses, are they cast in stone? Are they generic? Or the kind of business you run is going to determine the kind of process you put in place? Because I know if the process is wrong, then whether you bring in a legal person,
absolutely,
all of those things wouldn't even work because the process is not hasn't been designed to support those kinds of things. So I just want you to highlight on that a bit for us.
I mean, sweetheart, that's a good question, right? So last year, one of the things we did last year we just called it the BLM podcast, right? Business Leadership Masterclass. And on that masterclass, we went through different things. And one of the things I began to share with people was the fact that the very first thing for businesses to do is, number one, have a strategy. right? Your strategy is basically how you want to play in the market.
Okay.
Right? So you're crafting and defining your vision, you're crafting and defining your mission, your core values, all of that, right? How the things that you will say no to and the things you will say yes to. So you have that. I said after that, then you create your structure, because your structure must be based on the strategy that you're trying to achieve. Your structure shouldn't be in shouldn't exist in isolation, because your structure enables your strategy to work. Okay? And when we talk about your structure, how you organize your people, all right, the roles that would exist within your business, right? Of course, depending on the kind of business, there are certain roles that are critical roles, there are certain roles that, will be support roles, right? So we went into all of that. Then we went into processes. Because, if you have a wrong structure, a wrong strategy, then even if you have some processes in place, those processes might not be able to be optimized to achieve what you want to achieve.
Okay, so are processes the same as culture?
No, they are not.
Okay.
They are not.
What's the difference?
So culture is your behavior.
Okay.
So someone said it this way: culture is to an organization what personality is to an individual. So your culture is your behavior. It's how you've chosen to behave in this organization. What are the values that you hold in high esteem in this organization, and how do you want to show up? What is for want of a better, what is the smell of the place when people engage your organization or come into your office? That's your culture, right? Your processes are, for want of a better word, the hard things you've put in place to help your operations to run.
I see.
So, for example, you have a marketing process, a finance process, you have, an HR process, you have, depending, a sales process. And I would say, depending on where your business is, because at the end of the day, no matter what you're trying to achieve, the business was making money for you to achieve those things,
yes,
right?
Yes, true.
Yeah, so one critical process is your sales process. How do we sell in this organization? So you put in the processes in the sense of, you say, okay, so you say, for example, so you have a great product. Let's assume, well, the product is this microphone, right? So this is what you're selling. What is the process to sell this microphone? You said the first thing we're going to do is that we would create an ad around this microphone. So marketing plays a role in that. So when we create an ad around it, okay, we're going to place it on all the social media handles and all of that, or we do a TVC, a commercial or whatever. Then while you're doing that, you say, okay, so when people see that and then they are attracted, how are they going to connect with us? So you put in a customer service process. So people can call in, and when they call in, you want to put in the logistics process, how they can deliver this microphone to them, the distribution process. So again, those are processes, right? So processes are, what you're doing with processes is that you're putting in a step-by-step guide on how you will deliver value to your customers, your clients, So those are processes, yeah. So, those were the things that Michael spoke about.
Thank you. Clear enough. Okay. Now, I have another question for you.
Tell me that.
And it's about balance.
Okay.
How can an entrepreneur maintain balance to grow a thriving business?
How an entrepreneur can maintain balance to grow a thriving business.
Actually, in this climb.
In this climb, yes. I believe very strongly that the one of the first things I observe that happens to people is that people start a business, then they lose themselves. And this is what I mean. There are different aspects to you. Okay? There are different aspects to you. So number one, you exist as a human being first. And you can say, and as you exist as a human being, so that means that there is a part of you that is, for want of a better word, there's a spiritual part of you, right? Then there is that mental part of you. There is the family life that you have.
Yes.
Then there is the, for want of better, personal development. There is your health, right? Your health, which is very, very important. There is the social part of you. You have friends, you have people that you relate with. So there are different aspects and different parts to you, right? So how can you maintain balance in that sense?
No part suffers.
Yes. I think the first thing I would want to say is something I learned, many years ago, is the fact that balance is a myth.
Really?
Yeah, balance is a myth. When people say work-life balance, for example, what's that? I mean, I dare anyone to come and tell me how they've attained work-life balance, balanced work and life. You understand? I think what is more important is at every point in time prioritizing.
Prioritize.
Exactly. So it's prioritizing. So rather than, so the conversation has gone beyond work-life balance now to work-life integration. So how can I integrate work into my life and integrate my life into my work such that there is a flow and you are able to manage the different parts of your life? Now, the first thing I would want to tell any entrepreneur is that you must exist for the business to exist, especially at the beginning of the business. Before you build massive systems, before you, are able to ensure the business runs without you being there. So you exist first. And what is the implication of that? It means you must take care of you first, right? You must take care of you. And how do you do that? Number one, pay attention to your spirituality, right? Pay attention to your health, right? Make sure you eat right, you go to the gym if you need to, exercise, be well, be whole. Your mental wellness has an implication on your business.
On your business.
So have you discovered that there are times when people go on vacation and that's when they get the brightest ideas?
Yes.
Why?
I agree.
Why? Because at that point, their mind is at a state of rest.
Yeah.
And so it's easy to capture the thoughts that are flowing around in the universe, right? So take care of you. Very important. So when you take care of you, of course, at certain times, that you have to prioritize the work that you need to do to grow the business. Now, if you're a family person, then you know that you must give and pay attention to your family. Pay attention to your wife, pay attention to your kids. Why? Because if your marriage is suffering, right? If your kids are not well, it has a way of affecting you.
True.
And then when you are affected, it impacts the business too. So really it's sitting down, documenting, okay, what are the various compartments of my life in that sense, and seeing how do I give each of these compartments attention from time to time and prioritize. I won't spend family time at work. I won't spend work time at home. So it's giving the balance because, but I would want to round up by saying it starts with you. It is he that is well that can donate blood, one of my mentors would say.
Nice. So it's not work-life balance. It's work-life
integration.
Yes. My last question on work-life balance. You had said something around taking care of yourself. You said something around spirituality and all of that. That's not a topic you don't get to hear a lot of, actually, in conversations like this.
Yeah.
So I'd like to ask, what is the role of spirituality in starting and growing a business?
Oh, extremely important. Whether people acknowledge it or not, extremely important, extremely important. I would always say that if you find a business person who is doing significant things, the truth is that they're always spiritual. Now, what they believe in can differ, but they're always spiritual, right? I'm a Christian. I believe in Jesus Christ. And so I believe very strongly that when you are connected, vitally connected to God, vitally connected to Jesus, he inspires you. Because, hey, my belief is God created the world. There is nothing that we're going to have exist in the world, especially anything good and innovative, that you cannot get that inspiration from God.
From God.
The Holy Book which I read says there is a spirit in man. The inspiration of the Almighty gives man understanding. So really, 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 there is always that inspiration, that guidance that comes from God that, see, okay, so for example, how do you know a bad deal? How do you know a bad deal? Sometimes, and the Holy Book, which I also read, says There's a path that seemed right unto a man, but the end thereof is destruction. That means that path seemed right. Nobody goes on a path for destruction, of course, except the person has a problem. But no normal person, normal thinking person starts a business and is planning that this business is going to fail. Right? Everybody starts a business with the mindset of we want this business to succeed, to grow, to bring in money, to influence the world, to add value to people and all of that. But you see, you want to do that very meaningfully, okay? And so, but in the course of all of that, how do you know the right product to market, the right product to sell? Sometimes, business schools cannot even teach you how your business would prosper. They are going to tell you the principles, but how do you apply the principles to your own peculiar circumstance and situation? I believe that's where, for me, God comes in, right? So there is that inspiration, that direction. As you pray, you're guided, you get guidance, you get leadership, you get inspiration, new ideas on what to do, how to do it. There is a book that I would always tell people to read. The name of the book is God Owns My Business. Right? It's a man who started a business, and he was talking about how, from time to time, he was saved from making the wrong decisions, because you tell him something, you bring a business deal to him, he's going to sleep over it and he's going to pray about it. And if he doesn't feel the nudging to go ahead, he's not going to go ahead. And if he feels the nudging, he goes ahead. And he's discovered that every time he disobeyed that inner conviction, that inner voice, he went into trouble. So that is, for me, spirituality is a very, 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 very critical role. Plays a very critical role in running and growing a successful business.
Excellent. Yeah. So you said something earlier on about it is he that is well that can run a business.
Yes, it's he that is well that can do. It is he that is well that can donate blood. Yes, one of my mentors used to say that. Yes.
Okay, so and I'm assuming in this case now, right, that wellness, right, isn't only restricted to bodily wellness, wellness of the mind, mental, and all of that. There's an aspect of self-development also, upskilling yourself that can come to play also. Now, what kinds of skills do you think a business person would need to really thrive in whatever industry he or she has found himself in?
Oh, beautiful question there. Beautiful question. What kind of skills? Okay, let me answer that question this way, right? There are 3 categories of skills that I believe every business person must pay attention to. The very first are what I would call technical skills, right? Technical skills where running a business is concerned. So, for example, understanding a little bit of finance.
Oh, yes.
Yeah, you don't need to be the finance expert, but you should be able to read an income statement. You should be able to read a balance sheet. Actually, just have that basic understanding, right? It saves you. Number 2, I believe that, part of technical skills, so even just the business acumen. So you are in an industry, right? You need to understand the industry in which you're in. If you're selling televisions, right? You need to understand the TV market. Who are your competitors? What do they have, that you have? Or you don't have. Understand it.
Your USP.
Your USP. Exactly. Your unique selling proposition. All of that, you need to understand it. This business acumen. You need to understand it. And you see, you need to then understand your customers. Those are technical skills. Those are things that you have to go learn. You're not just going to know it, right? Technical, to understand your customers. The nature of your customers, the behavior of your customers, how to connect with your customers. Very, very important. And sales is also a skill. People don't think skill. I've heard a lot of people say, I don't like selling, No, see, sales is a skill. And if it is a skill, it can be learned.
Exactly.
Yes, there. You can learn it. So go learn how to sell. Because you will sell. If you run a business, you would sell. Either you're selling a proposal, you're selling a physical product, you're selling. So sales is a technical competence. So all of that are categorized under technical competence. I know there are a lot more. But again, the point is technical competence will relate to competence or skills that are related to your craft, that business you're in. Now, having said that, and maybe before I go on, there's a very good book, The Richest Man in Babylon. I mean, one of the laws in that book, is that never invest in every business you don't know about. Just go carry money, just dump it. People lose money that way. So that is business acumen, really. So invest in businesses you know about. So understand that technical acumen is important. Technical competence is important. The second category of skills, which is very important also, are human skills or people skills. It's the skill of relating with other human beings. Listen, I mean, in business, you're relating with customers, you're relating with people upline, you're relating with stakeholders, you're relating with shareholders, you're relating with, your employees, you're relating with partners. You must master how to relate with people, understand human behavior. Especially in this part of the world, and I'm talking about in Africa, people would want to say no. They won't tell you no directly. Body language will tell you no. So understanding human behavior to be able to pick that this guy is not going to buy.
Read body language.
Exactly. Read the room. So it's extremely important. So people skills. The third skill is conceptual skills. Conceptual skills is the skill that is the ability to have big picture thinking, how everything connects. And so it is conceptual skill. I believe that one of the reasons why a lot of people or business people find it difficult to scale is because they lack conceptual skills. They do not see how HR connects to operations and how operations connects to finance, how finance connects to supply chain, and how supply chain connects to marketing, how marketing connects to sale, and how all of this helps you to achieve your vision and your mission. That big picture thinking. When you have big picture thinking, you're able to scale. You say, okay, this is where we are now. So this is what we need to add to grow and scale to another level. So I believe those three skills are important.
So three skills: technical, people skill, and
conceptual skills.
I won't forget, and I'm sure those listening also wouldn't forget. So it's soccer season, it's World Cup season.
Oh yeah,
and there's a lot of excitement and friends in the air. You like soccer? Unfortunately, I don't. You would have to explain to me why I would see grown-up men running after an inanimate object. I can for the life of me, I can never understand it. But it's fine. You love soccer, and I love it for you. It's okay. Now, speaking of soccer, what lessons can we learn from soccer?
Yes,
and that is applicable in
business.
Yeah.
Okay. Good.
I mean, since you love it so much, there must be something.
World Cup. Yay! All right, I won't tell us the team I'm rooting for to win. Okay, so basically, before every match, the coach has a game plan, which is your strategy. For you to succeed in business, you must have a clear strategy. What do you want to do and what do you want to achieve? Then the coach, based on his or her strategy organizes the team. So the formation of the team is dependent on the strategy of the coach, right?
Yeah.
So structure your business based on your strategy, okay? Then the coach then goes in and in having conversations with people, shows them the processes. Pass from here to here, pass from here, this is how we're going to go in. So have the right processes in place. Don't get an HR person after your business has suffered a lot. You can start to think about it from the very beginning, right? Get finance, get legal, get all of that. It's very important. Now, when you have the right processes in place, you now need the right people to execute and implement that process, right? And to be based on the strategy you see and the structure you've created, you need the right people in there and the right culture. If the team has all the right strategy, the right structure, the right processes, and they are fighting each other, they do not like each other. They make up, and you've seen those things happen in football. They'll say, no, I'm not passing to this person. And then this person is starved. The striker is starved and because of personal issues, not necessarily because the coach did not explain that this is how we're going to win. So have the right people and culture. And then as the match goes on, you find out the coach is evaluating the match. Make sure that your right metrics are in place. You measure performance consistently. Don't wait till the end of the match to measure performance by who won the match and who lost. Consistently measuring the match. After And now we have hydration breaks in this World Cup. So during the hydration break, he's telling them, make this correction, correct this. I'm seeing this, I'm observing this, correct this. During the half time, the break, correct this. So be putting in corrective measures consistently. Continue this. The philosophy of continuous improvement must be part and parcel of how you work. If you do that, you win the match.
Brilliant. Really brilliant. Who would have thought football concepts and strategies from football, applying it to business? Brilliant. Really brilliant. Excellent. I guess we've come to the end of this episode, and I must say it has been truly enlightening.
Wow.
Talking to you.
Same here.
Truly enlightening talking to you. And I'd just like to encourage everybody to go back to watch the previous episodes of all of the Fireside Chats. Trust me, what you have heard on this episode is just a tip of the iceberg.
Yes.
It's very important that you watch each of the sessions to get the core of the lessons, right?
Yes.
And then you can apply it to your business so that you can take it from where it is to where you want it to be. Are there any last words for us before we wrap up?
Well, last words.
Okay, they say last words sounds very gloomy. So, are there any
final words?
We will final words. Final words will sound
on the broadcast.
On the broadcast. Okay, yes.
Final words on the broadcast is this: two things. Number one, look forward to seeing everyone in the August edition of the BLM Fireside Chat. I mean, it will be remarkable, and I would want to admonish you to follow us on all our social media handles and all of that. Right, you see it displayed on the screen. And very last word on this broadcast is happy birthday, dear. Happy birthday. So our birthday is on the 4th of July. Okay. So happy birthday. You share a birthday with America. They're celebrating 250 years. You're American.
It's an inside joke. Well, thank you.
Happy birthday, dear.
Thank you so much.
I love you so much.
I love you too.
Thank you. Thank you for honoring us on the broadcast today. Thank you, dear.
Really glad to be here, though. Really glad.
Thank you.
All right. So
take care. And everyone, see you in August.
Bye.
Bye.